What's going on, family? Welcome to the GCO Network Podcast, where it's our mission and our duty to keep the masses informed about what's going on in the Gambia, and not only that, but how to thrive when making a transition to the motherland. You already know it's your girl, Africa, thriving and vibing with your boy,
Will.
And
Mangituru Adam.
Mangituru Mzadi.
My sister and my brother. Nice to meet you. Yeah. How y'all feeling today?
All right. How about you?
I'm feeling amazing. I can't lie. All right. So before we get into the topic of the day, we want to see what is the quote of the day.
All right. Try to give us a little bit of uplift today, right? Just a little bit of uplift. So Here we go. If you can't, you must.
You better
If
preach.
you must,
Come on, Pastor.
You can.
Come on now. I feel like the people behind me could not hear you. If you wouldn't mind repeating that just one more time for the people in the back.
Too easy. If you can't, you must.
You must.
If you must, you can.
You can.
That's it.
So that just means you can, period.
Period.
It ain't no I can't. It's I can. You can and you will. And you heard it here first from Willie J and the GCO Network Podcast.
Yes.
Right.
Play with us if you want to. You don't want to do that. You don't want this smoke. I'm telling you.
Write it down. Mark it down.
Come on. Adam told you what it is. And all right, look, we need the news for today too. So what information can we give them to kind of keep them up to date?
All right. Just real quick. So these are like some of the frequently asked questions, right? So whether it's for business or whether it's for importing your car to Gambia, you know, what kind of money are we looking at? What kind of duty or taxes are you looking at? Let's just say, for instance, you sending a car that's more than 5 years old, right? And if it's more than 5 years old, then the excise tax or the tariff you're going to pay is 15%. That's 15% of the value of that car. Okay.
That's important to know.
Exactly. I said, if you're shipping a car and it's a used car, right? And it is more than 5 years old. The expectation is at the port, before you can retrieve it, the excise tax or tariff for that vehicle is 15%, meaning 15% of the value of that vehicle. Okay. Now, on the other side of that, if you have a used car and it's less than 5 years old, then the tax is 10%. Okay.
So if it's newer, your tax a little bit less.
Exactly. Now, for the used cars, less than 5 years old is 10%, right? Now, they switched it up when they got to the new cars, right? I don't know how many new cars are coming to Gambia, but here, listen, we didn't write this. We're gonna leave it in a place where everybody can see it. Okay, it's an article that was came from the ministry, from the government of Gambia, so everybody can see it. Okay. Now, the new cars, the excise tax is 25%.
Wow. Brand new. So anything. So if you just bought that car, you paying 25% on that.
25% of the value of that car. Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
You got $100,000 car, you got to pay $25,000.
That's 25 G's just to bring it over. So don't buy a car that's 100,000. Don't bring that over here. Over there. Yeah. Don't do that.
Right. So people can do with that what they will, but that's just our take on it. Now, if you're trying to start a business, and you want to import equipment, or you're trying to start a restaurant, or you're trying to, manufacture or produce something, right? At your shop, at your store, at your place for now, future use, whatever. Expect to pay up to 35%. Expect to pay up to 35%. For instance, if you go and you want a business and you want to produce something, whatever it may be, and you get the equipment from Asia or Europe or even the US, right? 35%. 35%. If you're talking business, you're talking 35% off the rip.
Crazy.
Yeah,
And it's
35%.
35% of the entire value of the equipment, or is that one by one?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So usually when they ship that, and I experienced this, with the business, when you ship equipment and it comes in a container, right? So they have to inspect. They don't just trust you and just put it on a truck and stuff. So they inspect it, right? Make sure it's safe to enter the country, because that's essentially what's happening.
Right.
Something that's not common to Gambia is entering Gambia. So by right, it should be inspected.
Right.
So but yeah, 35% of the value. So whatever the whole cost is of all your equipment together, that's it. That's it. I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to take the lesser. Yes, the article does say 0, 5, 10, 20, and 35%.
Yeah.
I'm just here to tell you, from on the business side of that, if you're shipping equipment, restaurant equipment, car equipment, whatever you're trying to do, whatever business you're trying to start, whatever manufacturing process you're trying to start in the country of Gambia, that's what you're gonna pay. 35%.
Wow.
35%. That's a lot of money.
That's
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Especially when you think about starting up a business.
So these are incurred costs, right? And we know it don't even stop there. So say you paid the 35% for your equipment, right? You're excited, you got your stuff there, it's import, you're there to pick it up, or you have an agent assigned to pick it up and get there and all this stuff. Okay, now there's another fee. Once the crane comes and it's been inspected and everybody's been in it and the seal's been broken and the locks put it back on it, and they say, okay, we're gonna ship it to Seracunda or Saint Chaba or Bracama or wherever it's going, right? Well, you got to pay the driver, right? So you got to think about cost of the driver. You got to think about that fee. That fee is due upon arrival.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to pay for the
because if you don't have your Delasi ready, it's gonna be a problem.
Do you have to pay for the crane,
right?
Will?
Right.
What's that?
Do you have to pay for the crane that gets it off?
No, that's incurred in the cost. It's part of the cost. It's part of the cost and stuff. So yeah, but that's that's just part of port duty.
Okay.
But that's built into the cost.
Yeah,
that's built into the cost. That's why they don't lease it out or pull it out in the article they have here. But they do talk about the excise tax and the tariffs. So that's just a quick little nugget of, if you want to ship a car, and if it's older than 5 years or younger than 5 years, and the percentage that you pay and all this stuff. And again, we'll post these articles and where people can reference them and look at them and stuff. So we want to make sure that anything that we say can be referenced or cited. Absolutely. Right. So and here at GCO, we deal in facts.
Yes,
we deal in direct information directly from the government. We're not here to start propaganda and go left and right and all this. We're just here to talk about the facts, and that's just what it is.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that is what it is. So appreciate that, Willie J, for informing us and the masses about those tariffs, because that's a big part of the transition. That's a big part of it, especially for those who are going to be shipping things into the Gambia.
Right.
And as one who has done that, I definitely get it. And that would have been pertinent information and great information for me to have prior to my hop and skip. But it's good to have now, and I know the ones coming after me going to have this information. So thank you again for that information.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, everybody. So we're going to get straight into the topic of the day. And what we're going to talk about is, how do diaspora deal with the culture shock of repatriation to Gambia?
Ooh.
So
that's a deep one right there. That's a deep
one. And Adam, I'll let you get it started. How do you think you dealt with the culture shock initially when you went for the first time?
Well, I feel like anybody's culture shock experience, and this is depending on if you do some type of prior research on where you're going, it starts before you arrive. You know, I feel like just looking up those videos, just seeing the good and the bad, it starts to circulate in your mind, and you start to prepare yourself a little bit. Now, nothing is like landing and getting off that plane.
Right.
Nothing is like putting your feet on the ground and walking
facts.
through it. You know, seeing the sand and going to the beach and the people and the influences, how business is done. So for me, initially when we first arrived and we got there and dealing with the airports and stuff, it was a little bit overwhelming, because when you're at the airport, all the process and everything else like that, you know. So when I initially first got there, I know for me it was a bit of like overwhelming. What do you think?
I would say it was definitely a culture shock, because you're not used to seeing so many Black people in one location.
That's true.
Like, that's just not something we want to see that here in America, but they just, you know, you try to do any kind of Black assembly in America, you become a terror threat, they disband you, Karens calling the police on the neighborhood. So it's just we don't really get to see it in the way that we see it in Africa.
Yes.
And so just seeing so many Black people just everywhere, I think that was one of like the biggest culture shocks. Because like Adam said, we've been doing research for about 3 years. So it's like you train yourself as much as you can through the internet. And then once you get there, it's just
that real life experience.
It's just different. It's just different. So it wasn't just a slap in the face.
Right.
It is a culture shock just to see so many of your people all around you. It's just a shock. You don't know. Sometimes you want to talk to them, they don't know you. Like you want to go up to them, you want to greet them. It might be a little child walking around, and you want to speak to them, and they're looking at you and then they start talking to you and speaking to you, and then you realize I actually can go up to this random stranger, and it's like, oh, why are you talking to me? Who are you? It's actually, you'll have a conversation with them. You might make a friend.
And it's
the smiling coast.
And there's good shocks, and there's bad shocks, you know. So even though it was a bit overwhelming at the airport, and like she said, even though, you know, you're seeing so many Black people, those are good, you know, it was good shocks, it was good experiences.
Definitely.
And how would you what advice would you give someone that's coming in with any shock that you had, anything that stood out for you? What is some information that you would provide to someone who say coming in next week or coming in tomorrow? What's something that could help them with this transition?
Well, I'd say somebody that's like not knowing what type of research they've done beforehand, because like I said, that research, you know, doing your due diligence and putting your ear to the ground and trying to find out as much as you know beforehand is key. But, you know, if you just got like a week out, 2 weeks out, and you're about to fly out and go, you know, my best thing to tell you is to keep an open mind and not to go over there thinking that everything is going to be greener on the other side, because there are things
that's good
that, you know, there are things that you're going to find as fault, stuff like that, and development going on. But it's development means that it's just improving. So, you know, you don't look at certain things, don't go over there and just think that, you know, oh, everything is so great, I'm going to go over there and become a millionaire instantly. No, you got to go over there and do your work. Actually be humble too, because a lot of times we go over there and we're not humble, And that causes the culture shock to be way worse.
Right.
We're thinking that it's going to be a certain way. We're going to strut through the masses and do whatever we want to do. And then all of a sudden the culture hits you and you got to go 1/3 that speed. So, you got to really be logical about it. So basically what I'm saying is, in a nutshell, go over there with a logical standpoint and realize all the situation that you're going into.
Right, and that's a great point, and that's you guys need to rewind that and listen to that again, because one thing about it, I think people believe I'm going over there, it's green on the other side, everything just about to be easy go lucky, boom, 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 and it's not. It's not. The truth is, it has a lot of challenges, just like anywhere in the whole entire world.
Right.
It has a lot of challenges, a lot of shortcomings, it got government, it got corruption, it has everything. Wherever you coming from, it got it. It may be on a different scale, but
absolutely.
it's there. So the culture shock, like for myself, like you were saying about thinking you're gonna move all fast, you not. They stopped me super quick. And it's not that you go over there thinking you're about to, take over the world or anything. You just going, like for myself, I can just speak for me. Like I went up with a helping mindset to just give. But the one thing I should have realized is, first I got to make sure I'm good before I can help anybody else. And if you're moving over there, you need to make sure that you and your family are the number one focus, not the people around. Because yes, they're going to be they're important, but you have to make sure you and your family are solid prior to you really being able to help anybody else. And that will take a little bit of time. That doesn't mean you can't, invest in something small or however you want. You do what you want. But I'm saying, based on what I know, I wouldn't just go over there just trying to make big moves super quick, because it doesn't move that fast. Now in the States, I can put something somewhere and move faster and get something done next week and buy a house that quick. You can do that. There you cannot do that. It don't work like that. The culture is not like that, and that's fine. The thing is, that's fine, but just don't go there with that mindset. Like, I'm about to go save the world, and I'm about to, like Adam said, I'm about to be a millionaire. Well, hold up, wait. I ain't saying none of that's not gonna happen, because it will happen in due time. But allow yourself to enjoy this journey, because it is a journey. Your destination is not once you get there. That's just when the journey begins.
Right. Absolutely. And you know what, Cree, if you don't mind, for those people that's joining us late, just reiterate the topic that we're talking about right now.
And we're talking about how the diaspora deal with the culture shock of the repatriation to Gambia.
Hey,
so I mean, this is real life, real people who already been there.
Yeah. Right. And
real experiences.
One thing is true. I'm just gonna say it. Okay. Gambia not for everybody.
Come on,
no.
Say that for the people that's sitting behind me.
Gambia is not for everybody.
Come on.
Here's why I say that.
I say that all the time.
Okay. If, just like Adam said and Zadi said, the whole team has said, if you're not coming with an open mind, if you've done no research, okay, if you have not prepared yourself in any way, this is probably not the place for you to come.
Right.
So, and let me just touch on the business portion, just real quick on the business portion. If you've never done business in America on a certain level or been involved in a business process, understand that when you get to Gambia, that process that you understand from the West is not the process that's going to happen when you get on the ground.
Right.
and Cree, to your point, you can come and you can say, hey, the exchange rate is this, or the conversion rate is this, and $1 US is what is it today? 61? Is it still 61?
Yeah, probably 61, 62, something around there.
Anyway,
going up.
Okay, and Guess what you got to do? Just like in America or anywhere else, you got to get a business license. That's not free. Listen, you got to get a. Did you come with a shop? Did you ship a whole shop?
Right. Now, if you did, you pay 35% on it.
Come on now.
Yep. There it
Okay.
is.
So you already.
So you got to rent a place, right? You got to rent a place. So you rent a place in America. You rent a place everywhere else you go. You got to rent a place. Okay. You're gonna have to just understand that it's not going to be an overnight process. You're going to have to understand that you really can't even compare it to anything that you know as far as processes from the West, so to speak. Right? Now, you can keep the knowledge of how to do business and how business should look and how it should be conducted as you know it to be, right? And what success looks like. You can have all that up here. Now what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to bring how business is done in Gambia and what you know from America and bring it together. Right? You're gonna have to bring it together. You got to be super flexible. You got to be super flexible. And, you're not gonna come here just because the conversion rate is good and overnight you're just gonna make a few $100,000. It just doesn't work that way.
Come on.
Yep.
Right. And you really better understand, and just my personal note, you better understand your purpose.
Right. Now that's big. Your purpose.
You better understand your purpose, because if you're not sure of your purpose, take some time. Take your time.
Right.
Take your time. And to your point again, Cree, focus. I think the whole team has said this before. Focus. You got to be focused on what it is you're doing, focused on your teammate, right? You see Adam and Mzadi here. You got to focus. Y'all got to be like this. Y'all got to be like this. Y'all got to really support each other, because now both y'all in a place where everybody don't know you. You don't know them. You're on a different continent. You're not in New Jersey, New York, Florida, somewhere. You can't just catch a plane, shoot home right quick.
And just like you said in one of our other videos, Will, collaboration and celebration. And finding somebody that can be your ace while you're over there will help you navigate efficiently,
Right. And you definitely need a liaison. That's just one of those things that's important, right? And if you think you can come over here and conduct business, and we're all business owners in our own regard, and so if you think you can come here and operate solo, right, independent of local Gambians, local good Gambians helping you out and giving you information and kind of liaison you around and kind of carrying you around and kind of really helping you out, bruh, it don't work that way. Listen, it's gonna be some people probably agree with me. It's gonna be some people probably disagree with me, and that's fine. That's your opinion. But when you've been on the ground for real, if you haven't been to Gambia, you probably don't have an opinion right now.
Right. Definitely should not have an opinion.
Yeah, that's
right.
Not just
right. But on the other side of that, this place will humble you in one way or another. Right, because you can come over and you can think that everything's going to go your way and you're going to do this, and this is regardless of the amount of resources you have, right? Because you're still going to have to move at Gambian speed, and we know what that looks like, right?
And it's different. That Gambian speed is an actual real thing. Y'all ever heard of CP.Time?
Exactly.
Anybody ever heard of that? They talk about which they be flexing, they be trying to play us.
Right.
But truthfully, that Gambian time, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. It's not. You may think something about to get done right today. You might need them tomorrow. It might not get done.
Right.
Another real thing in Gambia is Gambian driving.
That's the real thing.
I know once we got from the airport, that first initial culture shock, and then once we started driving home, we saw that the driving was free reign.
Oh yeah. That's a huge.
It's like the Autobahn mixed with Wild West.
The Autobahn, they got rules. Okay, they got rules.
Yeah,
I was in Germany for 6 years. Europe for 6 years, right? I'm gonna tell you right now. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been all over the Middle East. I've been all of Dubai, everywhere. I'm telling you right now. Gambia got their own thing going on. They got their own thing going on. And when you come, because I haven't been driving that long myself, and I am very cautious. I drive with, and you have to be, you have to be constantly watching because there's no crosswalks.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you do come across one at an intersection, I think one's at what, Caraba Avenue and maybe in Seracunda or Senegambia,
Yeah.
by the mall somewhere. But
right there.
That's just a suggestion. That's not a rule. Okay.
There's no right away.
Right. That's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts on that. You just got to be careful about, how you moving around and stuff. So
yeah,
that's just what it is.
But y'all we have given some great tidbits today. Let me run it back, and team, let me know if I missed anything so I can add it to this list, because then y'all can go download this document, PDF document. And all you gotta do is put your little email in, and then we'll give you this document with all this information on it.
Absolutely.
But team, that's what I got for the diasporas. It helped them deal with the culture shock, some things they need to keep in mind. Being flexible.
Absolutely.
Being open-minded.
Right.
Taking your time.
Please.
Being focused.
Come on now.
Getting a liaison.
Must.
Collaborating and connecting with other diaspora.
Right.
Be humble. Be understanding of Gambian time. And be aware of Gambian driving. And be ready to drive defensive. And that's a real life thing. I'm talking.
Look,
I done drove there a lot.
All those points hit right there.
Yeah, I think you got every last one.
All those points. There's more, but that was good right there. All of those is valid.
Anything else I need to add, team?
I think you got it.
Hey, if you cannot,
okay,
and this is just from my personal experience, if you run across some people that's trying to come to Gambia, understand if you're going to purchase a vehicle in Gambia, 50% chance that vehicle is going to be a standard, right? It's going to be a stick.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
It's going to have its own gear shift. Okay. If you have not learned how to drive a standard prior to coming, I suggest you participate in that. I suggest you go somewhere and learn how to do that. Right? Because some people, just because we stated earlier about, the taxation on the cars, whether they're older than 5 years, younger than 5 years, or they're new, then if you decide to say, hey, I'm gonna skip that process, I'm gonna come to Gambia and I'm gonna buy me a used car. Okay, that's probably a good economical idea by comparison. That's probably a good economical idea. You don't have the shipping, you don't have the taxes and all that stuff, right? Okay, now you get there, you find a car and you figure out, oh, I don't know how to drive a stick or a standard.
Right.
Okay. Now what?
Right.
Now what? So it's just something else to think about. That's all.
Another culture shock for us, besides the monkey almost attacking us at the monkey park, was the religious practices stopping business.
Oh,
okay. That's big though.
Yeah.
Like when we had a driver taking us to Seracunda Market, he was like, hold on. He parked and got out, took his mat out, went down the street and started
Friday
praying.
prayers.
Like, okay, I guess we'll just sit on the side of the road.
Right.
So in all the businesses, everybody comes out, they just leave their business. And it's just like how they go and they pray, then they'll come back. So that's big.
That's big, especially for those in business.
Yes.
Right. And exactly. And from a business standpoint, we understand that we deal with a 4-day work week, right? We really deal with a 4-day work week. So Monday through Thursday. And when you say Thursday, you really talking about 2 o'clock.
Yeah. And that's almost every day though.
Right. So and for instance, their lunchtime is not our lunchtime. Their lunchtime is 2 o'clock, right? 2:30, 2 o'clock. They do lunch. Okay.
So they all eat by the same time that I've seen, what I've seen so far.
Right. So you have Friday prayers. So basically about 1 o'clock, 1:30, people start gathering, heading to the mosque. And this is everybody.
Yeah,
This is everybody.
They say they do that 6 times a day.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep. So
now,
be
but
aware of that.
Friday prayers are a must. I don't care if they're working on a building. I don't care if they're building something. I don't care what that is. That's gonna happen. So so again, the flexibility, just like you said, Cree, and everything like that. The same thing you said, Adam. You just gotta be flexible and understand that this is part of the culture. This is what it is. Okay. And if you're gonna thrive here, not survive. If you're gonna thrive here, you got to be understanding of some of the local and cultural events that take place either weekly or monthly, or quarterly, however that goes.
Great tips, team. Great tips. So those were added. The religious practices stopping business. Be well aware of that, because that's a real thing. It don't matter if they're building out, doing whatever.
Yeah.
It will things just cease. Time stops.
It definitely does.
It's just that's just real. That's real life.
It definitely does.
That's real life. So
but it's
just be
also
aware
a beautiful
of that.
thing to see the unity of just everybody coming together for one thing, even though of course we would like it to maybe be in a different area sometimes. Just to see that, it's just beautiful, because it's something that we lack here in the West. And so just seeing that is really, really, really a wonderful thing. It's just that if you have a business, it might not be as wonderful to you when that
beneficial,
money stops flowing.
During business hours.
Right. And remembering to be respectful of the culture, right? Be respectful of the culture. Like during Friday prayers, I always make sure that the guys are already headed out, or they already set up to pray and all this stuff, and you give them that time. Make sure they know that you're giving them that time. You're not tripping about it. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the culture. It's what it is. And be respectful. If that's not what you partake in, then sit down somewhere. Okay. Relax and let that process happen. It's not long. It's really not long. Okay. And
maybe like 5-10 minutes.
Right. And then after it's done, hey, you can go back to conducting business. That's just what it is.
Right.
You don't have to add this, Creed, but another culture shock was every morning, depending on where you are, you might hear a sermon. You might be woken up.
Right, and that's a part of their religious practices again.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's a lot, but it's just a little bit. We just giving y'all a little taste, a little piece, real quick.
Right.
We appreciate y'all spending this time with us and trusting us to give y'all this information so that y'all can thrive in your transition and thrive while you're in the Gambia. Team, is there anything I'm missing or y'all want to say before we head out?
I just want to tell people, or just reiterate, like I said, be humble when you come over here. Dealing with the culture shock. Be humble, dealing with the people, and be patient. Because remember what your assignment is. Remember why you're coming to Africa. Like Will said, figure out what's your cause and what you're doing it for, and really internalize that, because that's going to be your fuel through this journey.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think I can 100% agree with that. I would say when you come, just be ready to not know what's going on. Just be ready to not know, even if, like Adam said, you do the research and you feel like you know exactly, you done read articles, you done been on that government website, you done maybe even had conversations with somebody already living in Gambia, going back and forth, and they telling you stuff and you feel confident. Good to feel confident, but know that you don't know what's going on.
Right.
You do not know what's going on. So you need to come to learn.
Right.
And learn. The entire experience is going to be a learning experience. It's not just going to be a, like Chris said, a walk in the park.
Absolutely.
Right.
Great tidbits.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all for taking this time with us again. And the GCO Network Podcast is very grateful for each and every one of y'all.
Yes,
And
we
our
are.
team, we are about to go head out for the evening and rest our eyes and chill with our families and all that good stuff. So we hope y'all have an amazing evening or morning or whatever time of day it is for you.
Right.
Make it amazing because you are amazing. And we will talk to you all later.
Bye.
GCO Network, we out.
Peace.
Peace.